Have you ever wondered if your masturbation habits after 60 could be quietly undermining your intimacy, pulling you away from the people you love, and dimming the spark inside you? I'm Dr. John Smith, a urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping older adults rediscover connection, circulation, and joy in their lives. I've noticed a troubling pattern in thousands of patients. A masturbation habit most guys think is harmless is silently hurting their intimacy, leaving them tired, uninterested, and feeling like they've lost a part of themselves. Most people believe masturbation is safe, even healthy at any age, but after 60, this habit, if done wrong, can become a quiet thief, stealing your closeness and energy. Stick with me because I'm going to reveal why this habit is hurting you and how you can change it starting today. Imagine you're Thomas, a 68-year-old retired plumber, walking into my office with sad eyes. He said, "Doc, I feel distant from my wife, like we're not in the same world anymore, even though we sleep in the same bed." Thomas didn't know his frequent masturbation and reliance on intense content was quietly weakening his intimacy, making him tired and emotionally disconnected. This habit doesn't just push you away from your partner, it affects your blood flow and mental health, especially after 60, when your body's more sensitive. Over time, it can leave you feeling trapped in a cycle of loneliness. In this video, I'll show you exactly why your masturbation habits are undermining your intimacy, how they affect your body and mind, and how to reclaim connection naturally and safely. I'll share stories of men like Thomas who rediscovered intimacy with small changes, and I'll give you 3 simple but powerful steps you can start tonight. By the end, you'll learn an easy fix that can restore your intimacy and vitality in just 7 days. This conversation might feel personal, but it's vital for your health and happiness. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do it now and turn on the bell so you don't miss health tips designed for this stage of your life. If you're feeling distant, tired, or disconnected from someone special, this message is for you. Drop a 1 in the comments if this feels relatable, or a 0 if you want me to cover something else. I'm here to support your health journey. These habits aren't just a private act, they shape how you connect with others after 60, and I'll explain why they're hurting your intimacy more than you think. Stay with me to learn more, because you deserve a life full of closeness and vitality, no matter your age. Let's dive in and uncover why this habit is quietly stealing your intimacy. Now let's explore why your masturbation habits are weakening your intimacy after 60 and what's really going on inside your body. Part 1. Why your masturbation habits hurt your intimacy. In over 30 years as a urologist, I've met men like Thomas, a 68-year-old retired plumber, who came to me with sad eyes saying, "Doc, I feel distant from my wife, like we're worlds apart, even though we share a bed every night." Thomas thought this distance was just aging, but I told him, and I'm telling you, it's not that simple. After 60, your body gets more sensitive, and masturbation habits, especially if too frequent or reliant on intense content, can quietly undermine your intimacy. When you masturbate daily or use strong visual stimuli, you train your body to respond only to fast, intense sensations, making gentle moments with your partner feel less satisfying. It's like trying to run a marathon when your body just wants a walk. It exhausts you and breaks your connection. I've seen dozens of men like Thomas blame age for feeling distant, but when we looked at their habits, they realized masturbation was quietly hurting their intimacy. Science shows frequent masturbation stresses pelvic blood vessels, reducing circulation and causing weaker erections or less sensation. Another patient, 62, said he felt nothing with his partner, not knowing his daily habit was dulling his nerve sensitivity. Think of your body like a guitar. If you pluck the strings too hard, it goes out of tune. Another patient, 65, felt disconnected because his habit made partner intimacy feel flat, like training for a sprint when your body craves a stroll. Science says frequent masturbation can cut nitric oxide, the chemical that keeps blood vessels open, leading to sluggish circulation and low energy. A Harvard study found that easing up on masturbation improved blood flow in weeks. I've seen couples like Thomas and his wife reconnect by slowing down and talking openly. You don't need to overhaul everything, just try a 10 minutes of gentle touch in a quiet space with lube. Your pelvic area thrives on healthy blood flow, but overdoing it can clog that flow, leaving you foggy and distant, not just from your partner, but from yourself. Another patient, 67, noticed cold hands even in warm weather, not connecting it to his frequent habit until we adjusted it. It's not about shame, it's about biology. Your body's in a new phase needing gentler care, like tuning a vintage guitar to keep it playing beautifully. Start by cutting back to 1 to 2 times a week, giving your body a rest. Try swapping a session for a short walk or relaxation. These small shifts don't just protect your circulation, they restore your intimacy. If you're feeling distant or tired, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Now let's dig into how these habits mess with your hormones and why they hit your intimacy harder than you think. Part 2. How these habits mess with your hormones. There's something most guys don't think about with masturbation, especially after 60, and I saw it clearly with Edward, a 65-year-old retired bank clerk who came to me worn out. He said, "Doc, I masturbate almost daily to de-stress, but now I'm tired, foggy, and have no spark with my wife." Edward didn't know that his frequent masturbation and reliance on intense content was throwing his hormones into chaos, not just on the surface, but deep in his blood chemistry and brain. When you overdo it or use strong stimuli, you flood your brain with dopamine, the feel-good chemical, but then prolactin surges, signaling we're done shut down, leaving you drained. After 60, your endocrine system slows, so these hormonal swings hit harder and take longer to recover from. Another patient, 63, felt empty after daily sessions, not realizing he was depleting his natural dopamine, making it tough to enjoy simple moments like chatting with his wife. Science shows excessive masturbation keeps prolactin high too long, cutting testosterone, vital for energy, muscle, and memory, along with nitric oxide, which opens blood vessels, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It's like driving a car without fuel, it sputters and stalls. If you keep this up, your body gets trapped in a cycle of highs and lows, causing fatigue, low desire, and poor circulation. A 69-year-old patient felt cut off from his wife, and when we cut his frequency, he was amazed at how his closeness returned. A Stanford study shows a short break can boost testosterone and energy in days. Try skipping 2 to 3 days between sessions to rebalance hormones. It's like giving your body a quick recharge. When Edward did this, he said, "I'm sleeping better, my mind's clear, and I want to hold my wife again." Overdoing it doesn't just hit hormones, it hurts your blood flow too. Frequent masturbation or intense content spikes your heart rate, stressing pelvic blood vessels that are less elastic after 60, causing micro-injuries and sluggish circulation. A 66-year-old patient noticed colder hands and feet after daily sessions, not realizing he was clogging his blood flow like a pipe getting blocked. A Harvard study found that easing up on masturbation improves circulation and hormones fast. Try swapping a session for light meditation or a walk to reset your system. When Edward cut back, he not only felt energized but reconnected with his wife, showing small changes can spark big intimacy. The most surprising thing I've seen is how these hormonal shifts ripple beyond the physical. Overdoing it trains your brain to crave quick highs, making intimacy with your partner less appealing. I've seen couples like Edward's rediscover connection by talking openly and easing up. If you're feeling tired or detached, don't blame age, check your habits. Start with lighter touches and fewer sessions, and you'll feel your intimacy and confidence return. Drop a 1 in the comments if this resonates. Now let's talk about an emotional toll most doctors miss, a kind of loneliness no test can measure. Part 3, emotional toll of losing connection. I've always believed every physical symptom hides an emotional story. Like Daniel's a 70-year-old retired taxi driver who came to me with lost eyes saying, "Doc, I'm right next to my wife every night, but we're worlds apart." Daniel was overusing masturbation and intense content to escape real intimacy, thinking it was easier than facing the growing distance in his marriage. But he didn't know this habit was isolating him, not just from his wife, but from himself. When you masturbate too often or rely on strong content to avoid emotions, it becomes mechanical, stripping away connection and leaving you empty. Science shows excessive masturbation cuts oxytocin, the bonding hormone leading to deep loneliness, anxiety, and even depression. Another patient, 64, said he felt nothing after daily sessions with porn, not realizing he was losing the joy of simple moments like holding his wife's hand. It's like locking your heart in a box, chasing quick fixes without seeing the emotional cost. A 67-year-old patient felt disconnected because his habit dulled his response to gentle touch, making intimacy with his partner feel flat. Science says low oxytocin raises depression risk in older adults, especially without closeness. I've seen couples like Daniel and his wife who argued over distance find warmth again by cutting back and sharing 30-second hugs. Try swapping intense content for imagination or holding your partner. It's like unlocking your heart. If you're alone, treat masturbation as self-care, not avoidance. These shifts don't just help you, they bring peace to your relationships. I had a patient 66 who felt lost but found joy again by easing up and talking with his partner. A University of California study shows oxytocin from touch reduces anxiety and boosts mental health, especially as you age. A Harvard study found that cutting back on overstimulation lifts mood and energy fast. Start with 5 to 10 minutes of mindful touch or partner hugs focusing on warmth and safety. These moments don't just ease loneliness, they rebuild your spirit. Drop a 1 in the comments if this feels real to you. Now let's dive into 3 simple but powerful steps to reclaim your intimacy and vitality. Part 4. 3 steps to reclaim your intimacy. In my 30 years as a urologist, I've talked with thousands of men like Robert, a 67-year-old retired bakery owner, who came to me hopeful saying, "Doc, is there a way to feel close to my wife again?" I told him. And I'm telling you, yes, absolutely. And it starts with changing your masturbation habits. I've developed a 3-step approach to fix harmful habits that's transformed lives, restoring intimacy, circulation, and energy. Step 1 is gentle touch instead of heavy pressure or intense content. Use water-based lube and light touches for 10 minutes, like rediscovering your body. Science says gentle stimulation wakes pelvic nerves, softly boosting sensitivity without stressing blood vessels. A 64-year-old patient said, "I feel 20 years younger after trying this." Step 2 is the 3-day reset stop masturbation for 72 hours to let testosterone, dopamine, and oxytocin rebalance. A Stanford study shows this break boosts energy quickly. A 66-year-old patient felt always sluggish but said, "After 3 days, I sleep like a rock and feel alive." Try replacing sessions with a walk, reading, or meditation. Step 3 is reconnection. Hug your partner, hold hands, or if alone, sit quietly, breathe deeply, and tune into your emotions. A University of California study says oxytocin from touch cuts stress. Robert and his wife, once distant, laughed more after starting daily 30-second hugs. Spend 5-10 minutes on hugs or self-reflection, focusing on warmth. Drop a 1 if you're ready to try these steps. Part 5, warning signs your intimacy is fading. There's something profound about hearing your body's cries, like Charles, a 69-year-old retired maintenance worker, who said, "Doc, I thought I was just old cold hands, so tired I can't move. No closeness with my wife anymore." Charles didn't know these signs. Cold hands, deep fatigue, weaker erections weren't just aging, but warnings from his body tied to frequent masturbation or intense content. After 60, your body's more sensitive, and overdoing it or using strong stimuli stresses pelvic blood vessels, cutting circulation and intimacy. Science says poor circulation ups risks of high blood pressure, clots, and stroke, especially with low activity or stress. A 64-year-old patient felt tingling in his fingers after constant sessions, not realizing he was clogging his blood flow like a blocked pipe. It's like a red warning light on your car. Ignore it and things break. I've seen dozens of men like Charles think fatigue or cold hands are normal aging, but they're not. They're your body pleading for change. A Harvard study shows easing up on masturbation restores circulation fast. Another patient, 66, felt flat with his partner, but regained sensitivity by cutting back. Circulation affects your focus, recovery, and intimacy. You might notice cold hands in warm weather, numb fingers, or sluggish erection, signs you need gentler, less frequent habits. When Charles eased up and used lighter touch, he said, "I feel years younger." Try cutting back to 1 to 2 times a week with lube and gentle touch. Another patient, 67, felt distant due to weak erections, but found closeness again with deep breathing and fewer sessions. A University of California study shows better circulation, boosts energy, and cuts anxiety. Check for cold hands or deep fatigue and rest a few days between sessions. Try omega-3 rich foods like salmon. Stay hydrated or do light yoga to support blood flow. These steps don't just stop the fade, they revive intimacy and joy. I've seen couples like Charles and his wife, once distant, reconnect by changing habits and talking openly. Listen to your body. If you feel tired, cold hands, or low desire, it's time to act. Drop a 1 if you see these signs. I've sat with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s like you asking, am I too old to feel close to connect with someone I love to live with vitality and joy? I'm Dr. John Smith, and I'm here to say no, you're never too old. We've covered how masturbation habits, overdoing it, or leaning on intense content, weaken your intimacy, disrupt hormones, and create quiet loneliness. But it's not just about a private act. It's about caring for your body, mind, and heart after 60. These habits can tire you out, cut circulation, and distance you from those you love. But men like Thomas Edward, Daniel Robert, and Charles found closeness again with small steps, gentle touch, a 3-day reset, and reconnecting with loved ones or themselves. Mark, a 70-year-old retired mechanic, said, "Doc, I thought I was done, but one long hug with my wife made me feel in love again." You deserve that closeness, that vitality, no matter your age. Intimacy isn't just about the bedroom. It's feeling alive in your own skin, waking up with purpose, feeling your heartbeat when you touch someone special. Signs like deep fatigue, cold hands, or low desire aren't the end. They're your body asking for care. Start tonight. Take 10 minutes for gentle touch with lube. Breathe deeply. Feel your body. If you have a partner, hold them longer and share something joyful. If alone, sit quietly and listen to your emotions. These moments don't just lift your health, they open doors to connection. A 73-year-old patient thought it's over, but after easing up and talking openly, he said, "I'm back." You don't need to change everything, just one step. Drop a 1 if this resonates, or a 0 for more help. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more health tips. Share this with a friend, you might change their life. You have the time, strength, and worth to start your next chapter now.